Welcome back. Welcome back, Patriots. If you're just tuning in, this is Sons of Liberty 1773. I'm your host, Bill Bailey. Got a lot to go through. I haven't made a video in a while, and I want to touch base with everybody. Appreciate all of you. If you're just tuning in, we are a liberty-minded community here, from not people here in America, but around the world. People that want a small government, want to run our own lives, not be run by a totalitarian force, which history shows always ends badly, right? Socialism, Marxism, communism, whatever you want to call it, if it ain't the people running their government, it's bad. So before we get started, really prophetic stuff going on, folks. Tuesday is going to be a blood moon. Isn't that wild? And pretty pivotal day in America here with the elections. Where is this here? So on Tuesday, the Earth, Sun, and Moon will align to create a blood moon eclipse. It will be the last total lunar eclipse until 2025. So pretty bizarre. So we're rolling into election day. The pundits out there are saying it's going to be a bloodbath. One person, forget who it was. Remember the Shining, where the elevator doors open and the blood's just pouring down the hallway. That's said it's going to be like the Shining when the blood let out of the elevator. That we're going to have a total annihilation of the Democrat Party on Tuesday. I pray these people are right. America and the free world depends on us winning Tuesday and winning in big numbers, folks, big numbers. So we need to win by electing. Let me find this real quick. If I have it right here. How about right here? Whoops. Sorry, folks. I got to lift that one up. Just take a second. There we go. Matt and Christina, we definitely got to get these two elected. And I had a little, here we go. That's what I was looking for. It's a local patriot there holding that sign up, Sherry Hogan. Been active in politics for a long time, voting, working to get rid of Roe v. Wade, which happened, and to make sure this terrible bill, which I'm going to go over, doesn't pass here in Michigan on Tuesday. But there folks right there in Michigan, those three candidates, Tudor Dixon, Matt DePerno, and Christina Caramo, it's the most conservative candidates we've ever had in the history of Michigan right now, today. And if we can get these three over the hump Tuesday and they win, it is a game changer for Michigan. We can truly be returned, like Matt said, elect me and I will return Michigan to a constitutional republic. This is how it happens, folks, and we got to get the vote out. Make phone calls to your friends that don't always vote, unless they vote for communists, then tell them to stay home. But we've got to close this deal, and it means make sure your yard signs, if you notice the wind's blowing them over, get them out. It helps psychologically. If you've had your yard signs in the same positions for a month now, just stagger them, move them around. Visually, it reconnects people when they drive by them. Get out and vote. Vote like your life depends on it, your family's life depends on it, and the free world's life depends on it, America depends on it, because it does. And then this here, let me get rid of this other one, folks. There we go. I want to go over this. I won't spend a lot of time on this. I got some articles I want to share with you, so stick with me. Vote no on all three proposals in Michigan, okay? Proposal 3, reproductive freedom for all. It's really satanic. Listen to this stuff. Would give Michigan the most extreme abortion law in the world. Allows abortion up to birth, includes partial birth abortion, and the termination of babies that survive abortions. Allows minor children to obtain abortions, sterilization, puberty blockers, and sex change surgery without parental knowledge or consent. Think of that, folks. You want me to read that to you again? Because it means exactly what it says. Allows minor children to obtain abortions, sterilization, puberty blockers, sex change surgery without parental knowledge or consent. Eliminates screening of women coerced into abortion to conceal trafficking. Removes health and safety requirements of abortion facilities. Is that as evil as it gets? You know, I'm trying to think. It was Laura Logan maybe said this, that children, as far as, we're a fallen world, right? But as far as being the least sinless is when you're first born, right? Children are born innocent into a fallen world. And they're corrupted almost immediately. But the younger they are, the more sinless they are, and that's why Satan wants to attack the youth. This is why Hollywood goes after the youth. All these satanic, evil people around the world attack the youth. It's just evil. It really is. To hurt God, that's what Satan's ultimate thing is, right? There's a spiritual war going on. So Prop 3 is a no-brainer. No. I mean, a hell no. Prop 2, promote the vote. If this passes, we will never have fair and honest elections in Michigan ever again. It's over. Period. This is it. Be a constitutional amendment. I have a problem with this because the Constitution says the state legislatures control the means of the election. So I'm not so sure that this isn't the tail wagging the dog, and it's not even constitutional for this process to work this way. I need to have a long talk with Matt about this. Give me your thoughts. But promote the vote would make us highly vulnerable to manipulate elections, allows private sources to selectively fund elections, giving billionaires the power to directly manipulate election outcomes. Think of the Zuckerberg boxes, right? Allows 9 days of early in-person voting. Less oversight, higher costs. So where are you going to find election workers to man that for 9 days? You see the problems here they're creating? More absentee ballot drop boxes, less oversight, higher costs, no state ID requirements to vote, potential for non-citizens to vote, establishes that post-election audits can only be conducted by state, local officials, explicitly denies citizens access to election records, potentially making it a crime to ask questions about election accuracy. This would be the totalitarian regime running their BS elections, and the results are what they are, and if you question it, you go to prison. That's what that is. And I'm going to tell you, folks, I got to share this with you. This has been driving me nuts. Somebody has illegally used my name. I assume his last name is the same because I get these texts to William. That I'm a voter in Georgia. Here, I got another one today. William, if you're registered to vote at 166 Marabou Square Northwest, public records suggest you may have not voted yet. Yeah, I don't vote in Georgia. I've never lived in Georgia. I'm not a registered voter in Georgia. So this is as corrupt as hell on the Georgia voter rolls. Here's one right here. So, William, if you're registered to vote at 166 Marabou, Maribeau Square Northwest, public records suggest you may have not voted yet. This data could be wrong or old. If we got your address right, it looks like you can vote on November 8 at Morris Brandom Prim Central School at 2845 Margaret Mitchell Drive, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. Sent me a picture of the polling location. We're not election officials, though, so you can confirm whether that's correct and check voting hours on the official site. And there's a link, voting features, stop to end. And I texted them again. That is wrong. I have never lived, let alone voted in Georgia. Please remove the false voter info from your voter rolls. Fake voters like this are how something went wrong in the last election. So somebody being cute or whatever, but I'm getting this text from different entities all the time about, want me to vote for Democrats. I send them back some pretty colorful remarks, by the way. And then, so Prop 3 is a no, hell no. Prop 2 is a hell no. And then Prop 1, voters for transparency and term limits. Reduces max length. This is a deceptive wording, folks. I'm going to explain why this is a no vote. Reduces max length a lawmaker can serve from 14 years to 12 years, but would allow them to serve the full 12 years in one chamber, okay? You can serve 3 2-year terms as a legislator in the House. Most don't run for the Senate, okay? So 2, 4, 6, and they're term limited out. This would allow them to stay there for 12 freaking years. You see how they do this, manipulating? Since the Senate only has 38 seats and the House 110, this is in Michigan, currently most House reps never make it to the Senate. Therefore, it actually doubles the state reps' ability to serve from 6 years to 12 years and lengthens a senator's, they can do 2 terms, 2 4-year terms, 8 years, to go in for 3 terms, 12 years. So there's nothing term limiting here. It's term extensions. So that's a no. So it's real easy. That girl, I can't think of her name right now. They want to send me back to rehab. I say no, no, no. That's what, just get that song in your head. That's all you got to remember on props 1, 2, and 3. No, no, and no. Okay, I just wanted to get that out of the way because it's important if you're a voter here in Michigan to know what that's all about. Let me get rid of that. Whoops. Where did it go? Is this it? Why am I not getting rid of that? Let me find it here. I'm sorry, folks. Hang on just a second. There we go. Fixed it. So let's get into some articles. So we need to win big before we get off the election stuff. We need to win massive, okay, on Tuesday. We've got to pull this one through, folks. Our votes are the lifeblood of our republic. This is how we run things with our votes. And I get it. There's still going to be issues this cycle. No doubt. The whole mechanism is still in place, but at least we're wiser this time and we're watching. Jocelyn Benson fought through the courts a case that she was stopping election workers from being able to viably watch, or poll workers. And the people that brought forth the case won all the way, but the Supreme Court in Michigan is a leftist court now. And they overturned the lower court's opinion. So it's going to be a less than stellar process in place thanks to the leftist Michigan Supreme Court. But we just got to get out and win on November 2nd. We just got to get the votes out. We got to overwhelm the system and vote no, no, no on the 3 proposals if you're in Michigan. Vote for all the Republicans. For the Supreme Court, vote for Hudson and Sahara, okay? Hudson and Sahara are the 2 for the Michigan Supreme Court. It's like 6 choices. Hudson and Sahara. That's who you want to vote for. The rest, all the Republicans. Just vote Republican. So let's get to internet capture here and we'll buzz through these. Oh, real quick. If you want to help this channel, I went through 2, folks, and I purged some older videos that just weren't getting views anymore, and I think it might be messing with my algorithm. So my channel, or I call it our channel, doesn't get pushed out to more watchers. And no one was watching the videos. I mean, I looked at the views; they were never changing. And so I purged a bunch of videos, and hopefully going forward, I'm going to be a lot better, especially after the first of the year, with content and a higher quality of production, let's say, with the videos I put out. I mean, I try to do at least 1 quality video a week and 1 live. That's going to be my goal. I haven't been doing any lives, and I miss doing them, to be honest. I've just been busy. I'm just wrapping up my real estate business for the year, and have just been busy doing other things, getting winterizing and getting ready for the snow. So if you want to support this channel and the Patriot Mike Lindell, head over to mypillow.com, and my promo code for this channel is always in the description of every video. It's simply SOL 1773, SOL 1773. I got to tell you, I really love the percale sheets. If you don't have a set of those, I recommend you get them, and the My Pillows. And you will be sleeping like you're sleeping on a cloud. And I get a little kickback, this channel does, and we can always use a few bucks to, because, this is not a lot of money for me making videos, but I enjoy doing it, and I'm hoping I'm sharing some good content that everybody is enjoying. And then My Patriot has a sale going right now. The affiliate link for, I'll get a customized link at some point. For right now, the affiliate link is always in my description. I hope you're prepping, but right now they have the mega 3-month food, water, power medical emergency kit. It's normally $14, $16.85. You can get it for $966. The Alexa Pure Pro Water Filtration Ultimate Water Flow Kit to purify water, because you got to have a way to make to drink safe drinking water. Normally that's $701. You can buy it right now for $491.70. And they've got some sales going on. Some of this stuff, I realize it is more expensive than people can afford, but you can buy, a week's supply, a 2-week supply of their freeze-dried food and work away at it. Here's 12 meals, MRE case pack with heaters. 12 meals, $149, and you can look that out. Just go to mypatriotsupply.com, but go there by using the link in the description of this channel. Again, we get a little kickback from that if you use the affiliate link. You pay the same price regardless, but if you use the affiliate link that's in the description of this channel, we'll get a little kickback, which is nice. So let's get to the news, all right? Biden still hasn't called to congratulate Israeli elections winner Benjamin Netanyahu. Isn't that amazing, folks? He just won. Again, he will be the leader of Israel. And I believe Barack Obama told him. I mean, look at Barack Obama's glare there at Benjamin. Doesn't look like a lot of love there, does he? I think Obama's an evil person, folks. I've never liked him. I think he's a total communist, a total globalist. I remember when he was running, people started saying, well, you're a racist. No, I got no problem. I'm not a racist. I'm as far from one as you can come, but I do not like communist. And I thought from day one he was a communist when he said, trying to think of the words, it's basically, it's time to rewrite America. And he wasn't talking about going back to following the founding documents. And, this is the guy that said he looked out for the Marxists to hang out with and everything else. So I just wasn't a fan of him when he was running, and wasn't a fan of him when he was president, and I'm not a fan of Obama's now. So Joe Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu, they've had a relationship for years, and I just find it telling that Biden hasn't called to congratulate him. So the president has known and worked with Bibi Netanyahu for many years. The spokesperson added they worked closely together when Netanyahu was prime minister last year, and they have met again during the president's visit in Israel in July. Yet Joe Biden, I'll tell you, Trump would have called him like boom as soon as the news was out there, but not this creep that's in Washington. And then I won't get into this a lot, but the human cyborg, Fetterman, malfunctions during his latest rally in Pennsylvania. Hits glitch on Roe v. Wade, stuck in repeat mode. It's kind of creepy, to be honest. President Trump takes major jab at DeSantis during PA rally. Folks, I know there's a lot of hoopla about this on the internet. I wouldn't give it a lot of time. I think Trump endorsed DeSantis. DeSantis is governor because Trump endorsed him. I don't think there's much going on here, to be honest. I think DeSantis and Trump will get along fine, and I wouldn't let anybody try to divide us. I just don't think there's much there. Report. This is all at Gateway Pundit, by the way. Report: Republican insiders think midterms will be a bloodbath for Democrats. Let's hope so, right? Blood moon, pretty prophetic. Blood moon, bloodbath. We just got to close this deal on Tuesday. I may do a live Tuesday evening. I'm going to tell you, I know we're going to have a big day nationally on Tuesday. If we all do, we don't let off the accelerator. We're just that close, folks, right? 2 days. And we're voting. We just got to cinch this deal. We're going to have a big day Tuesday nationally. Michigan, though, is where my heart and my life, and we just are so need of change. We have like the most Marxist evil government in America. Gretchen Whitmer, Jocelyn Benson, and Dana Nessel are the most wicked, evil people in government. Some of them, not all. I mean, there's obviously many others, but they're right at the top of the food chain. And it would be such a massive victory if we take back Michigan. And that would really mean something, not only in Michigan, but nationally. And if we don't win and those proposals pass, I think Michigan's gone. It's California. And there's no writing it. The system will be rigged forever. It will be Satan Central if that Prop 3 passes. Just wicked evil. And I believe God has a plan. I believe it's playing out right now that he's using Trump and the Patriot movement, because most of all the MAGA people are Christian conservatives, Jewish conservatives, libertarian, which may not be overly religious, but they're voting on the right side of the aisle at least. And I have a lot of libertarian friends. We just disagree on a few things, but on the Constitution and limited government, we all walk in the same stride. So pray. I have been fasting. I'm down. You get old, even eating one meal a day, folks. I eat breakfast. I have a good breakfast. Sausage, eggs, might have some chopped potatoes. Have a big breakfast, and that's it. That's all I've been eating for over 2 weeks. And I'm, down, I don't know, maybe 12 pounds. I may stick with it. I guess I found my diet, at least that works. I eat one meal a day, and I'm in the scale is dropping, even as slow as it is. But I've been fasting and praying, and I'm going to continue doing everything I know to do because if we have God on our side, we sail to a victory. But keep praying and doing everything you can. I guess that's what I'm doing. So. National Guard to activate cybersecurity teams to help with midterm elections in 14 states. All I got to say about this, the machines aren't hooked to the internet. They don't go online. They're not hooked to the internet. National Guard to activate cybersecurity teams to help with midterm elections in 14 states. Okay. So in preparation for upcoming Tuesday's midterm elections, the National Guard will be activating cybersecurity teams in 14 states to assist in keeping election authorities' networks secure from cyber attacks and from any malicious activities, political reported. The move is part of a wider effort to ensure the midterms are secure from cybersecurity threats, which have loomed large in recent years since Russian interference operations in 2016, the outlet added. Uh-huh. Next, they put her in prison. She's in jail. What a disgrace. Excuse me, folks. President Trump calls out Catherine Engelbrecht and Greg Phillips at PA rally. President Trump had a rally Saturday in Lathrop, Pennsylvania for GOP candidates just days before the midterm elections. Thousands of U.S. patriots turned out to see the 45th president. Democrats are intentionally destroying this country from within. Americans must stop this destruction starting next week. During his speech, President Trump mentioned his friends and political prisoners, Catherine Engelbrecht and Greg Phillips, who are currently locked up in a Houston prison. On Monday, federal judge Kenneth Hoyt, a communist, in my opinion, a lawless judge. We got to start impeaching judges, folks, and cleaning up the judicial system. And you do that. You impeach 2 or 3 these lawless judges, and you watch the rest of them toe the line real quick. When they're looking at going to prison, the judges, and losing their retirement and all their benefits, you do that to 2 or 3 of these creeps, and the rest will fall in line. They'll be constitutional judges and following the rule of law, and they'll no longer have their body on one side of the scales of justice. It will fix things overnight. Same thing as bringing back or enacting the death penalty for drug dealers. Major drug dealers kill 500 people as a rule. 500 people will be murdered because of a drug dealer. If you bring back, and I'm not talking about somebody selling pot on a street corner or something. These are the big fentanyl and heroin and the big movers, right? You execute one of those, they get the death penalty, 2 or 3 of them. You watch the drug problem in America suddenly go away. They don't have one in China. They send their drugs over here. I had a friend, not a close friend, a guy that it's actually a guy I sold a real estate brokerage 2 years ago. Told me he had a friend in Beijing, and his friend seen a bunch of police cars and stuff, a big raid next door. And he asked his interpreter, he goes, what's going on next door? Get rid of this for a second. He goes, what's going on next door? And he goes, interpreter went over and found out and came back. He said, they just busted a drug dealer. I think it was Beijing. He goes, what'll happen to him? He goes, they'll try him tonight and execute him in the morning. Done. And if we were to do that here, you think we'd have a big drug problem anymore? I bet not. And the same thing goes for these creeps in the FBI that have really committed treason. I mean, I'm truthfully for a public. If George Washington was here, first off, this crap wouldn't be happening. But there would be a public hanging, and he would make sure that everybody in the nation watched what happens to treasonous bastards in this country. And you hang a couple people, whether it's a firing squad or lethal injection, whatever it is. Of these criminals, and watch how honest politicians suddenly become or leave the field altogether. Because right now it's a free reign for criminals. I mean, I've always said, if you're in the mafia, if you're really a criminal person, because there are people that just, if they can do something honestly, if there's an honest way to make a buck, they will still do it a criminal way just because they got a criminal mind. They're evil. But if you were to, if you're in the mafia, I've always said that, once you get into politics and make it to Washington, you've like won the lotto. You're like invincible at that point. Really. I mean, truthfully, they commit crimes every week. They don't get in trouble for it. Nothing happens to them. It's disgusting. But just this, Catherine and Greg. Eugene Yu, we all know, Koenig, what's going on there, right? Ties, allegedly, looks like it, to the CCP. Looks like, allegedly, you always got to put that stuff in. Espionage, looks like the Chinese Communist Party in some fashion, some really malicious stuff going on, right? I mean, they arrested him, hauled his ass from Michigan to California. He made bail. But the true the vote people that brought forth the evidence are the ones in prison. You see how screwed up it is? I mean, we're in an upside down world. Good is evil and evil is good. It's just not good. And we can change all this if we do our job on Tuesday. Continuing. Registered Democrat arrested for voting machine tampering, allegedly inserted USB flash drive into voting machine. That gentleman there. Police in Colorado said they arrested a man on suspicion of tampering with voting equipment after he reportedly inserted a USB flash drive into a voting machine during the state's preliminary election in June. I can tell you that when we saw machines here in Antrim County, they were missing the security tabs that are supposed to be on there, the locks. You got to cut them off. So it would have been easy to mess with something like that, to do what he did. Dems panic in New York. They're already blaming one of their own for likely midterm losses. If they want to blame their own, they should look in the mirror. The Democrat Party of JFK, folks, long gone, no longer exists. If you are voting for a Democrat, you are voting for a godless communist. They are evil people. They despise America. They want to rewrite our history. They're bringing this critical race theory garbage into our schools. They're bringing pornography into the schools, like the book Gender Queer. You can't have Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn. Or some of these classic American novels, just some of the great writers in America. I mean, Mark Twain is one of America's greatest writers. But you can bring in Gender Queer that shows two guys, cartoonish, performing sex acts and everything else. And again, I think it gets back, I think it was Laura Logan, that they want to attack the youth and do all this sick and disgusting stuff to the children, because that's a way of getting at God. But we got to take a stand, folks. We're this close, okay? This close. Matter of fact, I should touch my fingers to losing this country. And if America goes, so goes the world. But if we save America, we save the world. The free world is trust me, is praying that the Republicans sweep everything on Tuesday. I can guarantee you that, because they know. Whenever America isn't got strong leadership, it creates a vacuum in the world. And you know who fills that vacuum? Not good people. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, the enemies of the world. They feel emboldened to fill that vacuum. We got to have a strong moral leadership in the world, and it's America. America and our allies. And if America falls, so goes the world. It's just the way it is. I think everybody would agree with that. Breaking, United States Postal System District Manager confirms Michigan Secretary of State George Soros appointed radical Jocelyn Benson lied, claims it's normal and legal activity for postal workers to drop stacks of absentee ballots into drop boxes. No, it's not. And the postal and the U.S. PS district manager confirms that is a lie. That is not normal. But what do you expect from the left when their lips are moving, right? Barack Obama downplays inflation in desperate last-minute pitch in Pennsylvania. And by the way, folks, he had his rally. They showed the stadium he was in, and then they show a Trump rally. And even Barack Obama can't get the... hang on. Even Barack Obama can't get a crowd together. He gets a much bigger crowd than Biden. Biden gets like nobody. Zero. Yet he got more votes than any president in the history of America. Yet he got more votes in black districts than Barack Obama, the first black president of the United States. Doesn't pass the smell test, in my opinion. Let's go, Brandon. Trump supporters trolled Joe Biden as he arrives at Joliet, Illinois. You can see them all out there with the flags. I believe they were giving him the one-finger salute. They were doing that in Antrim County when Joe Biden was here. When he landed at the Bel Air airport, there was a crowd here. And they were not happy that he was in our county. I'll just put it that way. She's 89 now, so that was 2 years ago. She'd been like 87. My 87-year-old Aunt Jean was standing in front of her farm just to give Joe Biden the bird as he drove by. So I wasn't there when she did it, but trust me, she did it because that's the way Aunt Jean is. Leo Homan. Biden delivers ominous warning from his globalist puppet masters. The narrative has been set for election chaos and political violence. If you didn't watch his speech the other day, sorry, folks, I thought I had that on the screen. There it is. Biden's second speech was almost as bad as when he defiled Independence Hall with the devil lighting, like he was making a speech from the pit of hell with the smoke of sulfur rising. It was disgusting. And he turned the American president, the selected one, or whatever you want to call him, never seen this in the history of this country, on 80 to 100 million Republican voters that voted for Donald Trump, right? Not all Republicans, right? A lot of independents voted for Trump. A lot of Democrats. Turned on the American people that voted for Trump because they do not like the American First policy to get back to our founding roots. Limited government, small government, the power with the people. We run the government, not these tyrants, whether they're in D.C. or at your state level. Turned on them and called them the enemy of the state. 100 million Americans. The president did that. And he brought it again up in a second speech. And what he said was, now listen, folks, listen about these elections. Now, folks, there's going to be 50 million, I forget the number, mail-in ballots. These are, they're coming. All these mail-in ballots. And there's the counting rooms. And I think of this in reverse. Like, you remember the counting room in Casino? Remember the mobsters with De Niro in that? Good movie, by the way. De Niro's a communist, by the way. My opinion. They had the counting rooms where the skim is happening, right? They're skimming the money, the mobsters are. That's where all the corruption happens, is in the counting room, okay? So Joe Biden goes, well, got 50 million mail-in ballots, all these ballots, and they don't start opening those ballots until the polls close. So we may not know who the winners are for several days, Counting rooms, counting boards. Remember Casino? The system is not good, folks. We got to restore. It's so simple to fix, right? If I had a machine here, I would launch it in the air and shoot it with my 12-gauge Mossberg for everybody to see it blow into little bits, right? Probably could shoot something that heavy and big if it's in the air enough. I can probably get 3 shots into it before it hits the ground. We got to get rid of the technology when it comes to our votes. It's technology. As much as we use it to simplify our lives, it can be corrupted. How many of you have Norton on, the security, or McAfee, or one of those on your computer and your phone? AVG, is that the one I have on my phone? I think it is. Because there's hacking out there. The Pentagon's been hacked. Banks have been hacked. SolarWinds, the cybersecurity company, got hacked. Nothing is beyond reproach from criminals. So this is so simple to fix. We just do what we did in America for over 200 years. Voting day is voting day. The only people that get to mail in a ballot is somebody that's deployed in the military, or they've legitimately have a health reason, that they cannot get to the polling location. And those should be few, right? Or that's it. And even they got to get their ballots in before election day. And then it's election day. We go vote on paper. We have small precincts like we did. Folks, we did this for years. Cities with millions of people, millions. We voted on paper and we hand counted our votes. France does it. 30 million, I forget the population of France. They vote on the day of the election on paper and they hand count them. Done. You make your precincts 1,000 voter precincts. 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. If you can get more, great. And you count the votes and you give the total. And if the Republican wins, the Republican wins. If the Democrat wins, whoever wins, it doesn't matter. We just want to know the winner that wins is the winner, right? And we want to trust the process. No boxes. No more of the. And you got to have voter ID. Be a registered legal resident of this country to vote. Voter ID, and simple, fixed. It can be fixed in a day. It's that simple. And it worked just fine for well over 200 years. And then the corporations took over the counting, because we don't count our votes. Everybody needs to realize that. We do not count our votes anymore. Nobody is hand counting the votes unless there's a hand recount, which is very rare, okay? In Michigan, you've got to be the loser of a race within a margin, and then you can only hand count that race. But the way it works, folks, just simple, right? This is the machine, okay? You went and you hand filled your ballot, and zip it goes, drops down in the bin, right? And you leave. You get a little sticker that says, I voted. At the end of the day, that ballot drops in a bin, and that's it, gone. No one knows how your actual votes were allocated without a physical hand count. So at the end of the day, the clerk I think they turn a key and they push a button, or vice versa, and close the polls, right? It prints a tape, like a cash register tape. They take that and it's like a key card or thumb drive into the county clerk. The county clerk takes that thumb drive or key card, puts it in the master tabulator, prints another tape. Of course, they're going to match. Those 2 tapes are, remember, the stack of ballots, they're gone. No one saw them. Polls closed, tape prints, go to the county clerk, another tape prints, give the 2 tapes for that precinct to the canvassing board. They look and the tapes match. It says that at that precinct, 2,000 people voted. Oh, look, the tapes say 2,000 people voted. You don't know if the votes were allocated correctly for those 2,000 people. And that's it. They certify the vote. That's the way the process works, folks. If we want to restore some integrity, which needs to happen because our limited government constitutional republic works with our votes, and they are the lifeblood of keeping our republic and not slipping into a tyrannical democracy. And you always notice the left. Now, we are a democratic republic, right? We're a form of democracy, but the correct term is we're a limited government constitutional republic. But they never use republic, right? Ever. You ever hear a Democrat use republic? It's always democracy. We must save democracy. I always think, have you ever I've did this and I've seen this reaction before. You ever take a pocket constitution when you're arguing and you hold it up to a liberal, like this, and they're like, it's like holding a crucifix up to a vampire. You ever see those old vampire movies? And the guy pull the cape up. That's what a constitution does to a lefty loon. I don't know if there's anything else here I needed to get into this. Listening to the rhetoric, one can, this was Biden's last speech that he just gave. Listening to the rhetoric, one can envision how things might play out next week. We end up with many races that are too close to call on election night. The vote counting lasts for days. I just explained that to you. The energy crisis, folks, it's getting worse in Europe. I tell you, I really pray for Europe. It's going to be really bad. I mean, I literally believe people will freeze to death for lack of heating ability of their homes. Pray for a mild winter, I guess. Europe may see forced deindustrialization as results of energy crisis. European industries, including ferroalloys, fertilizer plants, and specialty chemicals, are shutting down as a result of the ongoing energy crisis. Certain industries may not come back even if the energy crisis eases. An increasing tight regulatory environment is another reason for deindustrialization in Europe. And energy is the lifeblood of a nation. Cheap energy. When we thrive is when there's an abundance of energy, okay? What the left is doing, the globalist, and they are trying to starve us of energy, okay? And when a people are put into squalor in horrible living conditions, and it's tough to survive, that's when the tyrants can pass laws to really grow the totalitarian state. And they're doing it. America is blessed with an abundance of bountiful amounts of natural gas, oil, coal. We could be building state-of-the-art nuclear plants. The old ones they built years ago, have ended up being fairly decent, right? I think some are aged out. There's an old plant in New York, which I think needs to probably shut it down. It's getting there. But they're not doing this. And I mean, it is clean, green energy, right? For all the greenies. But nuclear energy really produces the power. And apparently they don't want us to have that power. Wind and solar, if we get rid of the nuke plants, coal and natural gas, right? Shut them down, and we go off the wind, solar, and the batteries. It's like 33 seconds it can run the world. It's just bullshit. It's total bullshit. And if we want to really thrive in this nation, we need to bring back the Trump America First energy policy that made America energy independent for the first time ever. And it took Obama day one. Remember what were his executive orders on day one? Was to kill our energy independence. Kill us. It's all by design, folks. We can turn this ship around on Tuesday. We've got to do it. So Europe, inflation is going through the roof. It's only going to continue to get worse. If you want to read that whole article, it's over at Zero Hedge. Let me grab this. U.S. To station more nuke-capable assets in Korea. Folks, we're heading for World War III. I don't know any nice way other than to just tell you the facts. As I see them, I'm being honest with you. If that changes, I'll say you, but right now it's not de-escalating. We are fast-tracking, and no one's trying to make peace. Kim Jong-un is, North Korea is the total Orwellian-controlled state. I mean, they disappear you and your family. If one family member is to offend the state, Kim Jong-un's administration, they arrest the whole family. If they just don't murder everybody, never to be seen again, they put you in work camps and work you to death. North Korea is really evil, and it's kind of frightening that the little warlord has probably EMP weapons, nuclear weapons, and the state-of-the-art delivery systems, to be honest with you. So Russia and Ukraine's getting worse. China will go into Taiwan. I mean, it's all heading to World War III, and there's no peacemakers. Where are the peacemakers? So that's not looking good. Russian warns that world's 5 nuclear powers are on the brink of direct armed conflict. I believe that is absolutely a correct statement. Russia's foreign minister said it fears that the world's 5 declared nuclear powers are on the brink of a direct armed conflict, with Moscow warning of a catastrophic fallout and insisting that avoiding a clash is its top priority. So you can read that too. That's over at Zero Hedge. Lastly, I want to talk about this, folks. I don't know that I've ever shared this. Maybe I have. And I'll just give you a little backdrop. For us believers, if you're not a Christian, the main prep, get right with God, accept Jesus as your Savior. Once you got that prep, folks, nothing else matters, because in the end, God wins, okay? We know when the end times, when we're there, it's going to happen. I mean, we're like fulfilling the last few pages of the last book of the Bible. The third temple has to be built, okay? The Holy Temple. The Temple Institute is a group of Jewish people that is their goal, is to build the third temple. They are doing the breeding genetically to have a red heifer without blemish. I believe they're there. They're remanufacturing all the artifacts that were in the temple. A lot of the stuff is completed. I've heard they have the temple like prefabbed, ready to go up. If you want to learn about the Temple Institute, just go to I think it's the templeinstitute.com. Let me look. Nope, it's the templeinstitute.org. Okay? So about the Temple Institute, I'll just read these first 2 paragraphs, okay? The Temple Institute is dedicated to every aspect of the Holy Temple of Jerusalem and the center role it fulfilled and will once again fulfill in the spiritual well-being of both Israel and all the nations of the world. The Institute's work touches upon the history of the Holy Temple's past and understanding of the present day and the divine promise of Israel's future. The Institute's activity include education, research, and development. The Temple Institute's ultimate goal is to see Israel rebuild the Holy Temple on Mount Moriah in Jerusalem in accord with the biblical commandments. It is of primary importance to educate about the great significance of the Holy Temple on Mount Moriah, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, the only site in the world that is considered holy by the Jewish people, and the only site in the world which God chose to rest his presence through the establishment of the Holy Temple. The Temple Institute in Hebrew, I can not pronounce that name, so I'm not going to try, founded in 1987 as a nonprofit educational and religious organization located in the Jewish quarters of Jerusalem's Old City. The Institute is dedicated to every aspect of the biblical commandment to build the Holy Temple of God on Mount Moriah in Jerusalem. Our short-term goal is to rekindle the flame of the Holy Temple in the hearts of mankind through education. Our long-term goal is to do all of our limited power to bring about the building of the Holy Temple in our time. And you can, I think there'll be, here's the red heifer's arrival in Israel. There's a lot of information here, folks, at that site. It's, get rid of that. It's very educational and informative. Visitor Center, where are we? So, all that's holding the third temple from going up, and I believe when they get the permission, we will see that temple rise so quick. It will be epic and prophetic. So how Israel needs permission to build the third temple. That's all that's stopping them. The Muslim world controls the holy site, so the Muslims would have to come into agreement with Israel to allow it to happen. The Dome of the Rock is there, right? Israel is sitting on a massive natural gas deposit. So what if a deal was made with Iran or, Israel's enemies, right? We'll let you mine our natural gas. You'll get a cut of it. We want permission to build the temple. Something is going to happen. I don't know what it is, where they are going to get permission. And then look out, because once that temple's built is where the Antichrist will show up and want the world to worship him. And for that, before that happens, the world's got to be damn near destroyed in utter chaos. And he is going to come out as like this, the savior of the world, right? He's going to demand at some point that he is God and to worship him. And he will defile the third temple, and it will be destroyed ultimately. A fourth temple will be built, and then God will reign here on earth. And then it's going to be 1,000 years of freaking awesomeness without any evil. Couldn't imagine living in a world where, could you imagine just pure bliss? Man cannot build heaven, which the liberals seem to, the godless liberal thinks, well, they can build utopia on earth. No, actually you can't. They don't believe evil exists when in fact they're partaking in evil. They're blind. They're spiritually blind. So I'll wrap it up here, folks. A little longer. I haven't made a video in a while, so I thought I'd take time today on Sunday, Day of the Lord, November 6th, to remind everybody to get out and vote, share the news, share those proposals. No, no, no. Zahara and Hudson for Supreme Court. Obviously, Matt DePerno, Christina Caramo, and Tudor Dixon. All the Republicans. And we just got to close this deal on Tuesday. I'll try to do a live maybe Monday night and Tuesday night, because this is really big. I mean, we're at the crossroads, folks. Okay? Right? We're at the crossroads. One leads to hell on earth. One leads to the restoration of America and the free world and the rule of law. Morals. We are taking one road or the other on Tuesday. I pray it's the right road. Okay? Not the one to hell. The road to hell is bad road. You don't want to be on that one. So as always, Patriots, keep moving forward. Never surrender. Never retreat. We got to fight the good fight. If we are living in the last pages of if the book of Revelations, literally we're living at that time and it's going to play out. We know God wins. That doesn't mean we don't fight the good fight. Okay? Right to our last breath. That's the way I feel. I'm going to wake up every day and, one of the best sermons at my church I went to, haven't been to it in a while, was not by the pastor. It was by somebody in our church that filled in for the pastor when he was gone. And he gave a sermon on finishing strong, okay? That when your life's winding down, you get to be 60 years old, folks. I'll be 61 in December. You've made all the mistakes in life, or you've seen what happens when people go the wrong path, right? Right from wrong. I mean, we figured that out pretty young in life, but a lot of us got to hit our, make mistakes, are thick-headed. And we got to screw up doing the same thing a few times before we figure it out. But it was a sermon on finishing strong and trying to live a holy lifestyle and be the best person we can, help people, really live the Christian lifestyle before we check out. That was the message of it. And of all the sermons that I listened to on Sunday at that church, that's really the one I remember. And so I think that's a good message, right? We want to repent and just try to be that good soul, all right? Knowing we're imperfect and we would never make it into heaven if it weren't for Jesus Christ and God's amazing grace. and my pastor did say one thing. It's always what will get you in trouble. Yes, Pastor Jerry, who gave the prayer at or dinner, before we ate dinner here at the fundraiser for Matt and Christina. He said that it's that stinking thinking that'll get you in trouble. That stinking thinking. And then there's another pastor, Key Life, Dr. Charles Stanley. He said a lot of how we fall into a sinful life is you have that thought that you know is not right, and you grab hold of it and you pull it in. And you just got to, when you're thinking stuff you shouldn't be thinking, that stinking thinking, as Pastor Jerry would call it, just don't grab and pull it in. Think of something else, something positive and happy, a waterfall, ducks in a, whatever it is, Mother Nature, something peaceful and moral and righteous. I've rambled on long enough. I will try to do a live tomorrow night. Don't know how many people will tune in because I haven't been doing them in a while. Haven't had time, but we'll be in touch. Let's if you know people you can make phone calls to get out the vote, do it. What's a second? Tick tick tick, ring ring ring. Hello, Mary. This is Bill. Are you going to vote Tuesday? No. Why? I need you to go vote. Will you vote for me? Okay, you will. All right. Just vote Republican. Vote no on the 3 proposals. Vote for Supreme Court, Zahara and Hudson, and you'll help save this country, and you'll feel really good about it. So you promise me you'll go vote. You will. Great. Will you let some of your other friends know that maybe aren't going to vote to go vote? You will. God bless you. Thanks. Bye. Okay. You see how easy that is, folks? Make some phone calls like that. I'm good at it because I've made my living in sales for, since 1980. Let me think, 86 maybe, somewhere back in then. I was a youngin' then. Lived through the Reagan Revolution, folks. Wish you could have been there with me if you're too young. Ronald Reagan was just really special. Trump's policies are Reagan-esque, but Reagan was really how would I say this? They think of him the great communicator, his presence, his demeanor when he spoke to people, even his enemies. It was just so classy, okay? And Trump is a New Yorker, he's anything but that. But as far as Reagan being right for that time and a hard, tough guy like Trump being right for this time, I believe they're both right for their time periods. I like Trump, and I'm going to vote for Trump, and I believe Trump. Let me, before you go, if I haven't lost you already, news is, or rumor is, Trump is going to announce his run right after the midterms, that he's running for president. I think that hinges on us winning big, which I think we will nationally. I don't have any doubt about that. But he's going to make his big announcement that he is running for president. I heard it was in the 15th or 17th. So next week, not this coming week, but the week after. We'll see. I'm pretty excited. Man, the left fears Trump. They don't fear Donald Trump. They fear Donald Trump's policies, which is Trump's policies are restoring our limited government constitutional republic. That we're not globalists, we're nationalists at heart. We love America. And they despise him for it. And they despise us. Make no mistake. You ever see the meme where it's all blackened out and there's just Trump in his chair? It's not me. It's not me they're after. It's you. I'm just in the way. That's it. And Biden, that came out long before Biden's Moloch speech at Independence Hall. Trump's been right about everything. He's been an awesome president. And, he's the first president that I know since George Washington said, "It's an honor to serve in this country." And if you're a person of means, you shouldn't take any pay, okay? Washington didn't take any pay, but Congress kind of browbeat him into letting them give him back the money he had put into the cause, okay? Washington was a big land baron, but as far as money, I don't know that he wasn't always in debt or near debt. Just such a great person, George Washington. If you ever want to read about him, get The Real George Washington. Go on Amazon and buy the book, The Real George Washington. I will tell you, some of you, I'm rambling on now. There's Bill, says he's going to end this video. He's still talking. But this is important. The Real George Washington. Go on Amazon and buy a copy. I've gave away 2 or 3. I swore no one was getting the copy because it's my one book that I just love that book. It's just so powerful. You learn so much. So, I mean, this much of the back of the book is all documentation on the sources. The libs ain't going to spend anything in there as not being factual. And there's 3 books you can get from the same place. There's The Real George Washington, The Real Thomas Jefferson, and The Real Ben Franklin. So I loaned it to my friend Craig, who's a ferocious reader, man. I mean, he chomps through books. And he loved them. And he brought, especially The Real Thomas Jefferson. So we're at the fundraiser, and Craig and his wife are spending their night here in one of our Airbnbs. And he's giving me the books back just as Matt DePerno walks up. And he goes, "Oh, Bill," he goes, "these books were," Matt goes, "What are these?" And I go, "They're great books, Matt." So before I could get them back from Craig, Matt took them, and they're MIA again. So, and I'm glad Matt can keep them. To be honest with you, I'll buy a couple more copies. But it's one of those books. The Real George Washington, truthfully, is not a book that should sit on your shelf. Every time I've had a copy setting here, somebody comes in that I know are curious about our founding history, and I say, you know what? If there's one book here in all of my library, it's not a huge library of books I have, this is the one you need to read. And they leave with it. I never see it again. But that's all right, because it ain't doing any good collecting dust, right? But so The Real George Washington. All right, I'm ending it here. I will see you guys tomorrow. I think I'll do a live tomorrow night. And then pray. If you've never fasted before and you want to go fast from now through the election and pray to God that moral, conservative, Christian, or they don't need to necessarily be Christian candidates, but moral, honest, ethical, America first candidates, that God will bless them and see them over the finish line, that we pray for God to root out the evil in this country, to expose the criminals, to bring justice back to this country, that his will rules the day on Tuesday. Fast, prayer, whatever prayer you want for America. Psalms 33:12, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. If this nation, if we turn, numbers of us, pray, fast, turn to God, spiritual awakening, right? Revival in this country. I believe we're going to have a big day Tuesday, and maybe that blood moon is a sign, okay? Yesterday we had just an incredible rainbow behind our house. And the rainbow isn't about gay rights, folks. I mean, the left perverts everything. If you want to read Genesis, you'll learn what the true meaning of the rainbow is, right? When Noah, the ship had the ark had landed, right? And the floods are receding. God made a rainbow, that great colorful bow, and promised he'd never flood the earth again. Didn't say he wouldn't burn it or that we wouldn't, destroy it in nuclear world war. But that's the meaning of the rainbow. Really praying for a big day Tuesday, folks. So fasting, health-wise, if you don't think you should do it, don't do it. But if you just say, I'm going to cut out 2 meals a day or a meal a day or whatever it is, you're going to give up something, do it. We need to do everything possible. All right, I will see you guys there. Love you all. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please take a minute, hit the subscribe button, check mark the bell so you get all notifications. And when you give these videos a thumbs up, comment down below and share them. It helps grow the community. I will see you guys later.